deep into the 2024 BL explosion. Seriously, get comfy, grab your snacks, because we have a massive amount of content to unpack. Japan and Korea.
Don't forget Thailand.
Oh, of course, Thailand. Taiwan, too. This isn't just a year for BL. It's like,
It's huge.
it's a victory lap for the entire genre.
You said it, and it's incredible to see so many countries embracing BL and bringing such creativity to the table.
Okay, so that actually brings up a really interesting point. With this level of creativity, I wonder if we're going to see some...
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Thai BL scene has its own distinct flavor, right? It often blends humor and drama and social commentary in a way that you don't always see in other countries.
It's true.
So to see how those elements intertwine with this already established narrative, it'll be fascinating.
I am so there for it. Okay, that's going at the top of my watch list, ASAP. But speaking of familiar stories, 2024 is also bringing back some fan favorites. A Man Who Defies the World of BL is back for Season 3.
Oh, I love that show.
It's so good, right?
Pure meta-comedy gold. I mean, they playfully poke fun at all the tropes that we secretly love, while also delivering these really genuine, heartwarming moments.
Yes, exactly. Okay, and speaking of comebacks, those hilarious real estate agents from Asan's Love are gracing our screens once again.
Osan's Love returns. You know, it just goes to show that some stories really resonate with audiences.
They really do.
It's heartwarming to see such a positive reception to these sequels, you know what I mean?
It really is. It really is. Though if we're talking about stories that tug at the heartstrings, we have to mention the Given movie, which I am beyond excited about.
Oh, yes, yes.
This isn't just a continuation, it's an exploration of grief, love, and the power of music.
And from what I hear, it sounds like they're going to delve even deeper into the band's journey, especially after the anime's ending.
Oh, I'm going to cry so much, I just know it.
Have tissues ready.
Oh, absolutely. Now, Tadaima Okari, I think this one feels like a significant step for representation tackling gay parenthood in anime.
Yeah, I agree.
This isn't just two guys being cute. This is navigating societal expectations, legal hurdles, the whole 9 yards, you know?
It's really incredible to see anime, which has often been associated with, escapism, actually tackling such a relevant and, let's be honest, often stigmatized topic.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
This could be a watershed moment for how LGBTQ plus families are portrayed in Japanese media.
Absolutely. It feels like a natural progression, you know? Like, BL is reflecting the changing conversations around family and identity.
Definitely.
Now, while Japan is absolutely killing it in the animation department, South Korea is bringing its own brand of heartwarming storytelling to the table this year.
Oh, for sure.
And Jazz for Two immediately caught my eye. It's based on a popular webtoon, so it already has a dedicated fan base, which is always a good sign.
Right.
But the focus on music, like that shared passion between the characters, it just adds another layer of emotional depth that I'm really excited to see play out.
It's such a classic combo, though, right?
It really is. It really is.
Sure.
Okay, and then there's Love is Like a Cat, which already the title alone, I'm intrigued. Plus it stars Mew, and after his phenomenal performance in Tharn Type, I'm ready for whatever he brings to this role.
Speaking of Tharn Type, for anyone who might not have seen it, Mew's performance as Tharn was amazing. He brought such a vulnerability and intensity to that role that just resonated with so many viewers. So yeah, to see him in another BL production, it's no wonder there's already a buzz around this one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's going on the list. Okay, before we jump over to Taiwan, I have to ask about a show that's already on my radar. Mostly because I'm a sucker for anything food-related. Although I love You and You.
Oh, the food and romance combo, it always gets me.
Why is it just...
It's just a classic.
so good?
There's something so inherently sensual and intimate about sharing a meal. And although I love You and You, seems to capitalize on that so beautifully,
Yes, food for the soul, am I right?
Exactly.
Food for the soul, am I right? Okay, speaking of stories that feed the imagination, Taiwan's BL scene is serving up some intriguing narratives this year. I'm particularly excited about Unknown, especially since it's an adaptation of a story by Priest.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, have you read anything by Priest?
I have, yeah. Their stuff is always so intense.
It is.
Like, you're in for a wild ride.
Yes.
With some really complex characters. So to see that adapted for the screen, I'm there.
Especially with Yoi's International Media producing. They're the team behind Your Tooth, Our Love.
Exactly. They really set a high bar for Taiwanese BL with that show.
They did. The cinematography was stunning.
Yes.
And the chemistry, oh my goodness.
Off the charts.
Okay, Unknown is definitely at the top of my watch list. We've touched on a lot of heartwarming romantic themes so far, But 2024 isn't afraid to go there with some darker, more intense storylines. What have you seen?
Well, it's really interesting to see how the genre is kind of blending with other genres, you know?
Yeah.
And I think The Whisperer is a really good example of this. It's a Thai BL that's incorporating horror elements.
Really? I
Yeah.
feel like we haven't seen a lot of horror in BL before.
Right. It's not your typical BL.
I'm intrigued now. Tell me more.
Okay, so first of all, it stars Fluke, who is absolutely captivating in my ride. And from what I understand, The Whisperer uses these horror elements to really amplify the emotional tension between the characters.
Oh, interesting.
So it's not just about jump scares. It's about creating this atmosphere of suspense and anticipation.
Oh, I love that. So the horror actually serves the romance.
Exactly. It's a really clever way to keep the audience on the edge of their seats, wondering what's going to happen next.
I love it when a show can do that. Okay, and speaking of keeping things interesting, Thailand is also diving into time travel this year with, wait for it, time.
I mean, you can't go wrong with time travel, right?
You can't. It's a classic trope for a reason.
It allows for these incredible explorations of destiny, second chances, the impact of choices.
Oh, the angst, the drama.
Exactly. And with GYB Entertainment at the helm, you know it's going to be good. They always deliver high-quality productions.
They really do. They really do. Okay, so we've got time travel, we've got horror, but amidst all of these really innovative storylines, it's comforting to know that some things never go out of style.
Right, like what?
Office romances, friends to lovers.
Classics for a reason.
They are, and Perfect Propose from Japan is tapping into both of those.
Oh, tell me more.
Okay, so we've got two childhood friends who become roommates.
I see where this is going.
And, well, let's just say things get very interesting.
I do love a good slow burn.
Oh, absolutely. Are there any other trends that you've noticed as you've been, looking at all of this content for 2024?
Well, one thing that's really stood out to me is the use of specific subcultures or professions as settings, which I think just adds a whole other layer to the storytelling.
Oh, absolutely. Like how Cherry Magic uses the office setting to explore, themes of competition and expectation.
Exactly. It's not just about the romance. It's about the world these characters inhabit, you know.
It's about their lives.
And we're seeing more and more of that. Like Pit Babe in Thailand, for example, dives into the adrenaline-fueled world of race car driving.
Ooh, speed demons and romance.
Sign me up. And then you've got City Boy Log from Korea, which is shot like a vlog, which is a very different approach.
That is really unique.
So it gives it this very raw, almost voyeuristic feel, you know. It's very intimate.
I love it when creators experiment with format.
Me too.
It's like they're constantly pushing the boundaries of how we experience a story and how we connect with these characters.
Absolutely. I think it's what keeps the genre feeling so fresh and exciting.
Speaking of pushing boundaries, I hear there's a Korean BL that's doing something really unique with its episode length.
Oh, yeah. Please teach me. Each episode is only 1 minute long.
Wait, 1 minute?
1 minute.
How does that even work?
I think that's the genius of it, right?
Yeah.
It's like bite-sized BL, which, let's be honest, is perfect for our modern attention spans.
So true.
But it also forces the creators to be so incredibly precise and impactful with their storytelling.
Every second counts.
Exactly.
Wow. I am
Yeah.
so here for that. Bite-sized BL. I love it. This is why I love keeping up with all of the new releases. There's always something unexpected, right? Like a new approach to storytelling, unique formats. But I feel like at the heart of it all, it always comes back to the characters and the relationships, right? The ones that we get invested in, the ones that we root for. So what can you tell us about the couples, the stories, the journeys that we're going to be totally engrossed in 2024?
Well, I think we're going to see a really beautiful continuation of diverse representation, which is fantastic.
Yes.
One that comes to mind is Last Twilight from Thailand.
Okay.
And it's a heartwarming story about a visually impaired character who finds love with his caregiver.
Oh, wow. I imagine that brings up some really unique dynamics.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Last Twilight really explores those themes of trust and dependence and intimacy, but it does so in a way that feels really sensitive and real.
Beautiful.
And it's just a good reminder that love can blossom, even in the most unexpected circumstances.
It's true. It's true. It's stories like this that really highlight how BL is maturing as a genre.
Yeah.
It's tackling these really nuanced human experiences, and it's not shying away from the difficult conversations either. Let's talk about Chu in Taiwan. This one centers on a woman who is navigating her family's disapproval of her sexuality, and it feels like such an important story to tell,
It really does, especially within the context of, a compelling romance. It's a story that really tackles societal expectations and the courage that it takes to be true to yourself.
Absolutely. And it's amazing how BL can just like seamlessly weave these threads of social commentary into these really relatable, often very personal journeys.
It's a balance that BL seems to strike really well.
It does, it does. Okay, before we wrap up, are there any other must-watch sequels we should keep an eye out for?
Oh, there's always sequels, right? Well, get ready for another round of Close Friend, because season 3, aptly titled Soju Bomb, promises even more heartwarming chaos from these lovable friend groups that, let's be honest, we just can't get enough of.
I am so there for that. There's just something so comforting about like revisiting those familiar dynamics, those friendships, those relationships. Plus, you never know. Sometimes it's those side characters that really steal the show.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of side characters, The Time of Fever, a Korean movie, is actually shining a spotlight on a side couple from Unintentional Love Story this year, giving them their own chance at a happily ever after.
Oh, stop it. I love when that happens. Those are the best, like the second chance romances. Ugh, my heart. This has been incredible, I've got to say. This overview has been amazing, but I am feeling a little overwhelmed in a good way. Any final recommendations for our listeners as they navigate this like mountain of BL goodness?
Well, honestly, I think we've only scratched the surface.
I know, right?
2024 is bursting with incredible stories. But if I had to leave you with one thought, it would be don't be afraid to explore.
Yes.
Step outside of your comfort zone, embrace the diversity of voices and stories, and you might just discover your next BL obsession.
I love that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a watch list, a mile long, and a serious case of BL